Hello everyone, I am Ishant Sharma, your today's host. As a student, we have many questions and doubts regarding our future career, like how to prepare for professional world, how to make right choices, what if a choice was wrong, does backlogs affect my career, how to earn and learn at the same time. To answer all these questions, VIIT Alumni Association organized a webinar on student toolkit, choices and decisions by Mr. Ishant Gajbhiye. Ishant is a mechanical engineering graduate of our college. He is an accomplished professional and a business owner. He completed his first master's degree from University of North Texas and the second one from Sullivan University in business management. He is currently working as an EHS specialist with Magneti Marelli. And today he is here to answer your all questions and doubts and to tell you the importance of financial education. So yeah, let's get started.
My name is Ishant Gajbhiye, and I have done my bachelor's, as Arya said, in mechanical engineering from the very same college, VIIT. So I'm very proud to be a VIITian. Also got a chance to pursue my master's in industrial engineering and currently pursuing my another master. However, today, this particular forum, what I'm going to share with you guys is purely from the experiences that I have gained through the journey of my life. um, I always like to make sessions very interactive. So there are a few questions which I'm going to be asked, and we will be leveraging the today's technology to do the same. I hope all the speakers over here will be equal participant and make this like a learning session. So for a small example, what I will do, I will just share a poll through which we all will be able to communicate, and you will have only like 30 seconds to answer that. So let me know if you guys can see the polls on the screen. Are you guys able to see it? Awesome, I can see people are answering. All right, 5 more seconds if anyone is missing. All right, let's see. So if you guys can see the result, there are a lot of students who are currently in their third year. There are several professionals who are logged in over here. Good to see that the first year students are also taking initiative to learning not only the academics, but also knowing what's going out there in the world. And final year students. So that's great. Now I understand what my audiences are. So I will be able to relate to all of the people. So over the story of my journey, guys, sorry, over the story of my journey, guys, what I'm going to share is will be relevant to each and everyone. I'll be starting from my first year experiences, what I did, what choices I took, what decisions I took, and what were their outcome. Uh, just a small disclaimer, guys, I'm not a trained speaker, neither I am like a paid speaker. So there might be certain things that might happen. So I just wanted to apologize in the beginning if you guys feel that there was something that was not so relatable to you all. And lastly, what I'm about to share uh, will be, you guys have to keep like a supermarket approach. As you guys go into the supermarket, you only buy the things that you like. So take the things which you like over here, or which you think that you can directly implement in your life, and that will be all. Because jack of all trades, being a jack of all trades is not a matter. You just have to become a master of one guy. Guys, what I am today is because of the decisions that I took and the people that I listened to. I hope in the course of this presentation, I will be able to add some value to you guys. So next slide, please. All right. How many guys remember this? The red pill and the blue pill. So what would you guys choose? Obviously, everyone goes for the red pill, but if someone can just change one more, there is a one animation over there. Just put an arrow or something. All right, what I say, guys, we just use both the pill. We get to know a little bit about the truth, and also for which will be the part of the red pill, but also we'll have the fun in the process. See, being serious in the life is great, but having fun along the process is also another point of this life. Next, please. So my agenda is very simple, guys. What I'll be sharing will be cumulative of all these four things. I'll talk a little bit about a basic professionalism, how people who are in their third and final year, they can prepare themselves for a professional world. However, one more thing, if I'm saying a basic professionalism, it doesn't mean that it is applicable only in corporate world. That can also be applicable in your education world. And I will also help you understand how you can use the same skills and dynamics and you use in your personal life, in your education life, and also in your professional life. Secondly, what I will be sharing is like creating choices. As a human being, the most dominant and the constant thing in our life is choices. Whatever we do is the outcome of the choices and the decision that we take in a very early stage of our life. So I will be talking about in that. I came up with two concepts. One thing which is called as a 5P concept, which I learned in my project management, but I just reiterated that in a that can be used in a personal life. And secondly, something which is called as a gap analysis. This I learned from one of my senior business associate. When I learned about that, I thought like it was very fruitful for me because I was able to use this concept in every aspect of my life. I'm going to share that with you all because that is something you guys can take directly your home and apply and implement and see the result for yourself. Thirdly, failures. In failures, guys, I'm not going to share like success or motivation stories, but I'm going to help you understand that as an engineering student or as an just a student, we all face failure. Sometimes we face failure of not being submitting our assignments on time, or being having a backlog in our life, or maybe losing a year. So a lot of time what happened, lot of students get demotivated thinking like, hey, if I got a backlog, my self-image has gone down, or there is a lot of hurdles that gonna be for having a job issues, or maybe I don't have now a bright future. To be honest, guys, to say in one line, that's not purely true, and I will share with you why from my personal experience about it. And lastly, guys, which a financial education, when Jerry Maguire says, hey, show me the money, that's something very, very important. That is a concept which I actually learned while I was pursuing my master's. I realized that, hey, if you at a very early stage in our life, if we understand how the fundamental dynamics of money works, chances are like you will not think like you are just a student coming out of a college. You will start thinking like an expert professional right exactly at the time of the colleges. And people who are always planning to do something of their own or becoming an entrepreneur, I think that particular aspect is something an icing on the cake for all the students going through their degree. So next slide, please. All right. So starting with this basic professionalism, there is always a concept or very confusion. Hey, I have the knowledge or I have the skills. Getting knowledge is something, if you look as a definition, it is nothing but like awareness or familiarity that you gain by learning about something or learning about through going through any situation. So most of the time, knowledge can be said like as a theoretical. However, if you look at the skills, skills are something that is the ability for you to do something or certain actions, or you are expert in doing any of the concept. For example, if I'm knowing about a CAD modeling software, so I'm knowledgeable about that. But if I'm able to develop or design or simulate them or automate them, then that is a skill that I've already acquired. But do you guys really think that in a professional life, only having a theoretical knowledge or only gaining skills by going for coaching or tutoring will help you? Yes, that is. Why? Because your first 10 lakhs, I'm just talking in terms of the Indian rupees. Over here, we talk, there is a saying that your 100,000, your first $100,000 are always dependent on your domain knowledge. But as you go beyond that, your people skill matters, your communication skills matter. Similarly, it is applicable for you guys. When you will go out in the market, your first 10 lakh rupees will be purely dependent on your domain knowledge, which you will gain in your colleges, in your institution, or any coaching center. However, if you are not able to upbeat or upscale your people skills, such as like communication or soft skills, then you guys will be lying very behind of climbing the corporate ladder. Because as you go above, it's those skills which matter a lot. And I will share more about what are the different skills. Uh, can you put another, can you press a space bar, please? Next. Yeah. The good news is, guys, the skills can be learned. A lot of time there are so much, I'll just share from my experience. When I was in my engineering college, I was like a average or below average student. I was never like an what you can say shining star of my classes. But however, there were few students who were able to communicate very eagerly, who were able to do any kind of extempore, or who were very good in doing their extracurricular activities. There were some people who were very good in their education, and I always thought like, man, what these people are doing, I can never do that. And that was my first stage when I started to feel that my self image is going down. You know why? Because I was comparing myself to the other student. I somehow forgot that my journey, my goals are different. So the time that I'm going to take to develop my skills will also be different. I was very, very unaware. And I think that is true for every student. Most of the students who are here, even the professional who are logged in here, at some point of time have felt that, hey man, that guy is doing great, I am not doing good. Am I not capable of doing that? So just a small enlightenment, guys. Everything is possible. uh, the skills are learned when you put a dedicated amount of time and focus into that. Next please. Okay, what are those goals and skills I need to acquire now? That is a major question. We go through TEDx talks on YouTube. We learn to motivational speakers. We hear them, we get motivated. So being motivated for me is just like you pulling air inside the balloon. As soon as you remove the air from that, the balloon will just go away and you are just again the small rubber pad. So you need to be very specific to understand what are those skills. So next, please. Okay, one more time. Right. So some of the skills which I feel, in my opinion, are very, very important, because these are the skills which has helped me to gain the little success that right now I have in my life. First of all, your ability to listen. Secondly, your ability to communicate. Thirdly, your ability to be very accountable. Fourthly, your ability to be adaptable. Fifth, making a to-do list. So guys, there is a very emotional and very relational richness that can be revealed when we practice all these activities on a daily basis. So if you guys see, there is not like a rocket science which I have shared. It is something which we are already doing it. Just the thing is like we never put our undivided attention to understand how these skills can help us to elevate our game plan. So the ability to learn how to listen and the ability to communicate while being very simple. We can read a lot of English books. We can read a lot of word power made easy, prepare for GRE TOEFL, and learn a heavy words of English. But if the other person whom you are trying to communicate a message is not able to understand, what's the point of that? Our intention is not to become a great vocabulary. Our intention is to become a great messenger. What we are trying to do, if we are able to explain the other person in a very simple way that he is able to understand it, you have won the game. I'll give you a best example. When in a final year we do our projects, and there is a thing called as we have to do a presentation. I vividly remember my experience when I was trying to talk in front of 5 people, four of my project mates, one the invigilator, the external guy, and one the professor who was guiding us. I was like scared, man. I was like sweating, and I had all this plan in myself, like I'm gonna talk in this way. If he asked me this question, I'm prepared to answer that. But I was trying to impress the other people by showing how good I am able to speak. But I forgot the very basic meaning. That guy is here to test to see if I really did that project. Do I really understand the fundamental dynamics of that project? Am I really able to explain how that project works? That can be done in a very simple word. So you don't have to be very high in vocabulary to do that. This is what happens is in our college, we come from a very diversified background. A lot of people come from a background where they are not able to do their studies in a higher English classes from their initial stage. Some people come from a family where they are very privileged that they get a chance to study in such schools where they are taught about these grammars and other things. So when we talk about education, guys, in education, it's like a level playing field. Everyone has an same opportunity to perform at the same level. But the only difference is the hard work. If people are not able to put hard work, then chances are you might not shine. Next, please. Okay, this is something which I actually got on internet. I thought that is worth sharing. So there are 7 key active listening skills. So why I'm highlighting listening skills, guys, because your listenings, your all the other skills are very relatable to your listening skills. So if you are able to, like, I have made this diagram relevant as for the student. So when we are in the lecture or someone is teaching us some course which is very hard to understand, this is how you can make a fun for you guys. For me, it was metallurgy. It was purely theoretical, but it had a very deep meaning behind it. It always talked about like the minute detail, which sometimes as a student everyone feels like, hey, that is going bouncer for me. So how you can make the same boring course as a very interactive is like you be attentive. When you are attentive, when whatever the professor is teaching you, ask an open-minded question. Ask the question which is relevant, which is really related to those courses. Then have your guts to ask probing question. See, our professors over here are help us to understand and clarify our doubt. If we are so scared that we cannot even ask our clarification doubt, then forget about getting like a great career or doing great in your job, because every point of time in your job world you will be facing challenges, and at that point of time you need to understand how I can clarify, and the clarification can always come by asking questions. Third thing is paraphrase. Learn this art of paraphrasing. Understand what your professor is teaching or what the book is teaching you, and understand how I can paraphrase it. They say when you are a good student, you learn a great, but when you become a good teacher, you can learn more about it. Have you ever wondered that during examination, there are certain concepts which we understand when our friends help us to understand it, and is the same concept which our professor when he teaches us in the classroom is very hard to understand. You know what's the reason? Because when we are learning with our friend, we tend to ask him the question, hey, why you do that? This is not possible, I can do in this way. That is a difference. There is a small difference. If you do the same dynamics with your professor, chances are you will excel in that course too. Lastly, be attended to reflect your feelings, which I already covered about sharing how you feel about that topic and getting more grasp of it. And I'm sure all the professors who are here on the panel will be very happy to help you along the way. This is something which I learned when I was doing in my master's. I'm not saying that I'm great. I can just say I'm just a work in progress, guys. I wish if I go back in the time when I was doing my engineering and was able to implement all these things in my life at that time, I would have been in much better position that I am today. Next, please. Okay, let's move about creating choices. I told you guys earlier during agenda that I'm going to share 2 concepts, which is called as 5P and a gap analysis. 5P is something which is called as preparation prevents poor performance. The statement is an explanatory, self-explanatory. You always understand that when you're prepared for something, your performance goes as a higher level. But if you're not prepared for something, then your performance will be low. I am not here to tell you that you need to prepare. You guys are smart enough to understand that anything worthwhile to be done needs preparation. I'm here to tell you guys that you have to prepare well in advance, not at the last moment. The reason is when you are preparing in well in advance, you have ample amount of time to do trial and error and come up with the bestest solution rather than putting at a last moment. As an engineering student, we always make a joke, hey man, tomorrow is the exam, I'm going to start it today. Yes, some people are smart enough to go through that, but some people fail with that same thing. I did. I had some of my courses which I was lagging. I had some backlogs too. In fact, in one of the point, I'll share you the story, and and you will be very amazed to know where from I had a very humble beginning. So what I used to do is like, just take an example of mechanics paper. If there is a 2 days after the mechanics paper, we'll take the book and start studying today. Or people who go out for coaching classes will ask their notes and start studying today. If we are able to understand this concept during the when we are having the lectures, then it's fairly easy to to learn at the last 2 days. But if we are starting from the scratch, then you struggle to know if I have to do all unit 6 or I have to do only unit 5, and then you go for 10 years of paper. All these are very relevant thing, but you have to do all in before in advance, so that you are very much at calm minded. Then that feeling when that university paper comes in our hand of thinking like, hey, the questions that are in the paper should be solvable. It's not like that as soon as you get the question paper, you'll start looking at those questions and thinking, man, I wish I could have learned that unit. That is where all the people fail. And this is what something you should learn. I learned this thing when I was started to collaborate my business venture over here. Because of that, I got a chance and opportunity to hang around with some people who were successful in their corporate career, but very successful in their business entrepreneurship too. There are few nuggets which I learned from from them, that I implemented in my life, and this was one of them. Next, please. Okay, just go ahead. Next, one more. Okay, that's so what we have to do, guys. For no, behind one slide before. Okay, you guys have to start with end in the mind. Now I'm talking to the students who are in their third year and their final year, especially students who are in their third year. Guys, this is the time when you can actually start understanding what career path you want to choose. If you guys are looking for further studies, this is a time where you have to sit at, take 2 hours of your time and understand where in the life you want to be, and start preparing about it. How you can prepare about it, like for example, for me, I wanted to do industrial engineering. So in my third year, second semester, which we call a sixth semester, I started putting down what are the different colleges which will be there that I'm gonna apply for, since I wanted to go outside to study. What is their GRE score that I need to apply, and in order to get that GRE score, how much level of study I need to do. This is how I break it down. And I was able to accomplish that. It's very easy for me to understand when I break it down things at this minute level. And same goes for the job. I'm talking now to the final year students, or the students who are already graduated and logging in, or even the professionals who are trying to understand if they want to change their career path. There are two options we have. Either we choose to do what we like, or we choose to do what is booming in the industry. There is no difference, there is no harm in doing what you like, but we have to understand, like, if that what we like or what field we like is not able to give us the amount of money that we expect, then you should be ready to face that. You should be very determined to say that I'm taking this decision because I'm going to make it happen. Just not criticizing later on, I wish I could have done that. That is the saddest statement that you guys can ever do in your life, saying that I wish I would have ever done that, which shares that you already knew that what is there for you, but you failed to acquire that. Talking about booming fields, there are so many booming latest technologies which is going on right now. See which helps you to understand where you have your interest in, and see what are the skills you are lacking that you can learn in this downtime, and go beyond and on to acquire those skills. For example, if you are looking for a job, there is a job description. In that job description, they specify what skills are required. See if you guys have those skills. If not, see how you can learn from that. There are so many online resources now. Internet is at your disposal. You can use it. There are Coursera, Udemy. There are so many different people who teach it on free on YouTube. Take benefit of all those and start learning, guys, because this is the time when you can put your time and effort, and you will be very amazed to see the result down the lane. Just one thing, guys, don't expect to see the results just tomorrow. If you started doing the effort today, give it like an year or two to see the fruits of what you have put your efforts in. If you are a big you need to look at the big picture. If you guys are looking at like, hey, I'll do for 1 month and I'm gonna see it after 1 month, that ain't gonna happen, guys. Next, please. Okay, gap analysis. This is something which I really like. You can use, guys, right now itself. So what you guys have to do is, like, you have to take a paper, make it a column over there, put it in the two parts. In one side you write about where I am right now, and in right side you write about where I want to be. It's same for everyone. If you are a professional or final year student or something, whatever it is, it can come in terms of your finances, your health, your grades, and you write it down where I am currently, and you write it down where you want to be. And now you can understand, if I want to go from the left hand side to the right hand side, what are the things I need to do to close the gap. That's why I'm showing those gears. That particular guy wanted to go on the other side of the bridge, and he figured it out that these are the skills that he need to require to, in order to go there, to build the bridge, and he did it, and he was able to cross over that. And that is same for us too. If you are having low grades, see what grades you guys want, and see what are the courses that you need to focus on to learn about it. Take leverage your professors, or leverage online institution, leverage your friends, guys, to learn that. If you feel very scared to talk to your teachers or professor, but do something. Action will definitely cure your fear, guys. If you always think in your mind and don't put action, then you will not find the result. But try this at your home and see the result for yourself. And if there is any questions, you always have my LinkedIn ID. You can reach out to me, and I can help you understand more deeper version of it. Next, please. All right, this is something which everyone should know now. Networking and social media presence, especially content building. So when I was a student, this was not something which was very highlighted. We were just in that era where social media was becoming great. There were Facebook, Instagram, but we were not leveraging in the way that people are leveraging it now. The another biggest tool that as a student you guys can have is networking. Sharpen your LinkedIn profile, guys. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, first make a LinkedIn profile. That will help you guys to understand how you can be connected to the outside world. You will see how other students who are in the similar phase of your life are doing different things, even though they have the same resources that you have. So you can be able to connect to them and ask them how they are doing, what they are doing. And social media presence. I was reviewing our Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology page on LinkedIn, and I saw there were a couple of students who are posting video messages as a feedback of their online learning. That is a beginning of having your social media presence. See, guys, when you put your resume out, at least now here people in United States, if you are applying for any interview, they go through your LinkedIn profile. I'm sure it's going to be the same over there too. So if they see your LinkedIn profile, what is that they want to see? They don't want to see, have you written, I have taken these courses, these are my grades, and these are my accomplishment of this certificate or that certificate. They know that you might be able to do something on and beyond. What they want to see is, like, are you able to put your knowledge into something of practical usage? Like, for example, to give you, if you are doing like a CAD modeling, you did a CAD modeling software and you learned how to do CATIA and other courses, take a small model, do a designing analysis about it, and write few words about it, what you felt was your learning concept in that, and post it on the LinkedIn. And don't wait for the views, just post it. There will be a time when people will start understanding that you are putting something knowledgeable to that, and you will start getting more and more interactions. And networking over here, you can see an example. If you are connected to one people, that particular person is connected to 3 other people. So once you have a good kind of network presence, the content that you are putting will be globally exposed to other people. And chances are, people who are in the industry, if they see that you are putting a great content, they will directly connect to you, because it's a very limitless platform. Anyone can connect to anyone, and there might be miracles that can be possible. It happened with me. When I was looking for a job, I tried to do several things on LinkedIn, and I got connected through one of my LinkedIn connections, and that's how I was able to enter into the professional world. Next slide, please. Okay, failures, guys. This is something which I really like about the messy middle. The messy middle is something which is a reality of your life. You start at a very humble note, but your success is not like a linear curve. It's always like a messy middle. There are so many things that you learn in this messy middle. Remember, I was telling you that I did several mistakes. So I'll tell you guys, I never did my engineering in 4 years. I lost my 2 years of engineering. In my first semester, I was a good student. I had my grades, my attendance was really high. Why? Because I was coming from an environment where I was protected with my parents and families. So when I was doing my 10th and 12th standard, I was very good. I used to get good grades. But as soon as I stepped into Pune to the Kondwa hostel, I had a sense of freedom to do two things: to make choices of my own and make decisions of my own. And and like most of the student, I exploited that freedom. And what was the result? I was able to lose my 2 years in my engineering. So all my friends and my colleagues who graduated in 2012, I graduated in 2014. A lot of people might feel sympathy. I myself, when I first saw my first backlog, I felt very sad. I felt like, man, I have loosened everything. I cannot do anything in my life. I cannot show face to my parents. But at one point of time, I thought like maybe this is something which is worth learning. If I'm not able to handle failure, then I may not be able to handle success also. You see, there are so many cases that people do different things in their life just because they failed, because they don't have guts to accept their rejections. In your professional life, more than success, you guys will learn more about failures. Every point of time you will feel very challenging. So all the students who are connecting over here, if you ever had a backlog or if you even lose the year, don't lose hope, because life is not just engineering. Your life starts after engineering, after you get graduated. So utilize those years into doing something fruitful. When I was year down for the first time, I learned PTC Pro E from PTC Corporation itself. That was a game changing for me. When I came back into the college, I was able to understand several different courses from the perspective of modeling. And I learned so many different things. Not only that, guys, I remember I used to do several non-professional work. Like for example, with the help of my dad's influence, I was able to work into one of the company called iShirt, and that too non-paid, because I was not looking for money, I was looking for experience. And that I used in my first year down. I did not wasted that. My friends were very great. I was so fortunate enough to get great friends. They were very supportive. We had our what you can say, ups and downs in the life. They used to make fun of me. They used to make like uh, treat me like a timid guy. But because of those friends, I had my emotional stability. Because my parents were in Nagpur and I was over here, and I'm very fortunate to have those friends. And I'm telling you guys, all my friends suffered the same thing, but I won't reveal their name. Just but I can tell you those guys are really doing great in their life where they are. Secondly, understand that failure is the first step to the success, and I have already explained you why. Next is quantity brings quality. People who always look about like if I'm going to gain success is not they always look for a very short term. They underestimate their power and their confidence in the short term, and they overestimate their failures in the long term. Guys, one I'll enlighten you. You know, when I did my masters, I graduated in December 2016. I completed my 2 years of masters in 1.5 years. That's a dramatic change from a guy who did his engineering in 6 years, completed his masters in 1.5 years. I saved 6 months of one of my semester. Uh, Mr. Trump, he came into power, and because of that, a lot of things changed. Uh, the guy who was supposed to get a job in January 2017 ended up getting a job in June 2017. I applied more than 1,000. I vividly remember the number also. I applied for like 1,590 jobs, and the job which I received was my, I think, 1,579th number. I had an Excel sheet made, which company I'm applying, what resumes I have to change, and what are the skills they are looking for. If I didn't do those quantity numbers, chances are that I won't have got that job. And because of this, guys, you can understand you cannot expect a very easy journey. One thing you have to do is like you have to outgrow your self-image. You have to go through that challenges and criticism and come up as a winner. And next slide, please. Okay, over here, these are the last two slides, guys. Now I'm trying to talk to the people who have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur. uh, I have one question. Let's do that very quickly and we can move ahead. Okay, here is the question. You have 30 seconds again. How many of you guys are familiar with these quadrant? Awesome, man. Right, 10 seconds more. All right, time up. Let's see. Okay, 54% people said no. All right. So the people who wanted to become an entrepreneur, this is the basic fundamental that you will learn. When I was doing my MBA, there was a course called as Finance and Major. There they taught about this thing. They talk about how a person who, when he enters into an employee world, he has just a job. Then in order to become a very successful, like a Warren Buffett, you have to go through this. You have to become a self-employed guy, then you have to become a business owner, and then you become an investor. Sometimes we being an employee think like I have too much money, and with wrong opinions, they try to invest money in certain aspects, which maybe not be the right time or right thing to do at that moment. And due to wrong influences, we end up losing the money. So just a brief thing, that be aware of whom you are listening to. There is a difference between facts and opinion. Opinion comes from everybody. You have to understand whom you are listening to. You have to listen to only those people who have the fruits in their life which you want in your life. Next, please. Last slide. All right. I am a student. What can I do in this aspect? More? Can you go ahead? One more time. And one more time. All right. This is it. So this is the last slide, guys. I'll like to share with you, and then we'll open the forum for a Q&A. I am a student. What can I do? I had this question too. See, guys, as you are in the engineering field, start thinking in a very broader way. There are so many different possibilities that you guys can do it. Why I'm saying this? Because I did that. When I had my second, remember I told you I lost 2 years. When I lost first year, what I did an internship and I did a course. When I lost my second year, I did a course also, but I did also very different thing. There is something called as Just Dial in Pune. They have their office in Kondwa. I just wanted to utilize my skill, so I did that. I worked there. If you are saying I'm bluffing, you can ask my friends. You can and they can tell you. I used to go there. They used to make fun of me, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna call you. Can you tell me these things?" But there is very basic thing which I learned is a communication skill. I learned how I can talk to other people, how I can listen more and not say more. So that is something which I learned over there, and that was a great experience. I started doing home tutoring. One of my best friend, she said like, why don't you utilize this time into adding value to another person? So I did my schooling from like an ICSE board. So I was very good in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. So I started teaching students over there. I used to go to Balewadi. I used to go to Baner to teach school student of 10th and 11th standard to physics, chemistry, and maths. What happened is like my own fundamental dynamics about physics, chemistry, and maths became stronger, which helped me to score great in my final year courses. Do some freelancing. I didn't do that, but some of my friends here in United States and some of my friends, my school friends who are in different institution in India, they do that. They utilize their skill on internet on doing free work for someone that helps them to enhance their skill. People who are looking for going to abroad, there is something called as government scholarship. It's not just for the reserved classes, but there are so many different policies that if you guys read about it, you can gain that financial support. A lot of people have aspirations, but they don't have resources. So we have another kind of resources which we can leverage it and accomplish our visions. And lastly, opting for non-paid internship. As a student, you should not always think about like I need to have a paid internship. As a student, you should always think about how I can sharpen my skill. So if you are getting a non-paid internship, just grab the opportunity. You never know, if they like you, they might hire you. And lastly, leveraging your teachers, professors, and institution. I'm so glad and fortunate that I got an opportunity to learn from all these professors, which here are on panel. I learned from APK sir not only about the CAD modeling, but also about different aspects. APK sir himself is like an entrepreneur. If you see, his thought process are way different. He thinks like 10 steps beyond and do things over here. So have a one-on-one chat with him and you will able to discover yourself what are the skills that you have and how you can accomplish it. With that, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope I was able to add some value to you and you guys take something from here and have a bright future. And thank you for Naren sir, APK sir, Ronak, Arya, and all the other panelists for giving me this opportunity to share with you all my journey. And with that, back to Arya. Thank you.
Now the room is open for question and answer session. You can drop your question in the question and answer feature above there. We have one question from Atharva Mahindrakar. How difficult it is to get a job now in US, and is master's safe to do now?
Yes and no. The thing is like it's the same scenario which is in India. You have to work hard, man, to get the job. It's not like it's just a US so you can get it. There are some changes which are happening, and because of the COVID downtown, you all know that's a worldwide impact. So the process is slow, but the end result is there. There are still students over here who are landing a job. It's just they have to go through that hard hustle. I hope I was able to answer your question.
There is another question. Which country pays engineers the most?
Man, I don't know that exactly which country pays the engineers the most. I think engineers are get paid on their skills, not from which country they are. However, every market field is different. If you see, like in United States, if you feel that they are making more money, then you are missing one point, that their standard of living is also high. So it's like a basic economics that you can see. If you're working in India, you will make money enough that you can sustain the standard of living. So if you are looking like which countries, so every country has their own rules and regulation. I can only vouch for engineering here in United States. In United States, they get basically the basic level is 65K, and depending on your skill, you can start getting more opportunities.
So the next question is from Shrilesh. I am in the 8th semester. How can I get non-paid internship opportunities in civil stream?
All right, Shrilesh, I'll give you a very revelation answer. When I said non-paid, a lot of company, they will be very glad to accept you because they will not spend their money on you. They don't have to pay you. They can get your work done through you without paying you. So if you say to any company, like if you're in civil stream, if there are small construction companies or there are small agencies which do drafting and sheet drafting or drawing drafting or an architectural firm, you can enhance your drafting skills over there. Tell them, I just wanted to learn, you guys don't pay me, just give me a letter or a recommendation letter that I worked. Try to do it, you will see a lot of people will answer you back. And if you have some friends who are working in an industry, leverage them, use LinkedIn and use this word that I want to do volunteer, I don't want to get, I'm not looking for money. and you will get it definitely.
So the next question is from Ritik. Is Masters in Finance better or MBA?
MBA is nothing but is a cumulative of all the other aspects. Masters in finance depends how good are you with your numbers, or if that is something which is relevant to your career in focus. For me, it was very relevant because my journey was very like a sine wave. When I started my job, I was like a process engineer, core hardcore mechanical guy. Then along with that way, I learned that, hey, just being a mechanical engineer, I won't reach where I wanted to reach. I started exploring a concept called there is a something called as in finance, purchasing and requisition. I learned those aspects. That's where my finance major came in handy. And then I started learning about something which no mechanical engineer ever thought of doing. I don't know, it was, at least in my case, was environmental and safety. Now I'm an environmental and health and safety major guy. How I got to know is, like, I saw that there is an opening in my company for that, and there are the skills which are required. So I learned that. So I made my decision based on where I wanted to go rather than what I should do it. So that's how I played it. And I think for MBA and Masters in Finance, I'll better go for MBA, because in MBA you will get whole different dynamics about project management and cost management and other courses, and that will open different doors for you.
So the next question is, does master's degree help people for their growth, or having a work experience otherwise does?
It's a cumulative of both. A lot of time people have this question. Actually, that is a very good question. Things are like, people understand, like, if I do my engineering right now and right now away go to the masters, I will be very highly skilled and I will get a job right away. I think that is not relevant, because even though if you did your masters, your professional experience is zero. So people are looking for someone who can have a professional experience. And there is another outcome for this. If you are doing your bachelor's, you have like 1 year of experience, or you have done any internship along the course of your bachelor's, and then do masters, your results will be totally different from the guy who did masters and bachelor's all together. Because for me it was the same. I did my bachelor's and masters all together, but however, that internship which I did at iSure and my job at that Just helped me to answer some questions at people skill level. So I hope I am able to answer your question.
The next question is from Sahil Sura. Sir, thank you for your wonderful views, and it helped us. I would like to know which skills can be more helpful other than core to learn, which can help me as an engineer to be suitable for the market.
Okay, let me reread the question. I can see it's a very long question.
Yeah.
Okay, then core to learn. All right. So I think this was answered in one of the previous webinar done by my senior Rizal Sridhar. He talked about Industrial 4.0. He highlighted one important thing, which I also highlighted today. Right here sitting now, I cannot tell you learn these skills and that skill, because I don't know what is your career aspiration. If you know what your career aspirations are, look into that industry and see what is booming now. I'll give you example of manufacturing industry, which, because I am in that. In manufacturing industry, there are two things you can learn. It's not about the production or how good designer you are or how much you know about the different processes. It's about what is their continuous improvement process going on. So there are lean continuous improvement processes. If you are working for a Japanese company like Toyota, they use like BPM. If you are working for Italian company like Fiat Chrysler, they use called as world class manufacturing. So if you learn all this continuous improvement, learn about these things, chances are you will get job in the company in a very different aspect, because environmental and health is very much highlighted when it comes to world class manufacturing. And it also helps you to understand the dynamics of your mechanical engineering. If you want to lose waste or reduce the waste of any industry, you need to understand the processes, and you need to understand how the things work over there. And just search on Google, reach out to your LinkedIn people who are working into that industry, and directly ask them, hey, what are the skills that are required for me to gain this job, and they will be the best people to answer you because they are in the field.
Okay, so the next question is from Omkar. Internships ask a basic questions that why should we hire you? What type of answer do they expect?
You should be the better person. Why should they hire you? What is that in you that is so different about it? It is very good question over there. A lot of time people reiterate what they have written in their resume. Hey, my name is this and this, I am from here, I did my engineering from here, I got this much grade. They don't want to listen to that. They are not, they already know they are qualified enough to read all those things on your resume. What they are looking for is your accomplishment. What did you learn? You can talk about like, sir, you have already learned about me through reading through my resume. Here is something which I would like to share with you, which you don't know. For example, when I was doing my project with a group of people, I understood how team dynamics work. I understood how my communication with my project partners helped us to achieve our goal in a given time. So in that way, when you communicate in this way, they will know that you are not just like talking about the resume and all your skill. You are actually understanding the dynamics and fundamental about what you are doing. So that will help you to be out of the box or out of the crowd.
The next question is from Neha. Hello, sir. What is your biggest motivation?
Okay, my biggest motivation is my family, guys. What I wanted to do is, like I always thought, my parents did so much hard work to bring my lifestyle over here. Now it's my opportunity, it's my responsibility to bring my lifestyle from here to here and give them that lifestyle. So that is my biggest driving motivation.
So the next question is from Yash Mohite. Sir, what are the skills a mechanical engineering student should develop to be employed in the near future?
First of all, you have to make sure that in mechanical engineering is a very vague word. There is so many different possibilities that you guys can do. Start not only thinking about the core mechanical, start also thinking about in the industry about IT. Learn about MATLAB, Simulink, learn about data science, data analytics, learn about Minitab, how you can use statistical processes, because these are small courses which you will which not everyone will talk about it, but these are something which are in use currently in the industry. One example I will give you about how important is let's talk about Excel. There's a common thing. If you are good in Microsoft Excel, my friend, you can do a lot of different things in an industry. Most of that industry work goes on Excel, uh, making PRPOs or talking about scheduling, about production, everything. So if you know how you can play around Excel thing, that itself is one tool that can help you to get into get in industry. Second thing is like, you need to focus on your people skills, because how you communicate, but also you need to learn your specific skills. Like if you are want to go into design, see what design courses are available over there, or which are the company which are going for that, and learn those aspects, learn what they are looking for. And along with design, you also have to learn about safety features, like tolerance and dynamics. That's whole different concept, but you need to learn, they are all interrelated. Any more questions we have, or are we? Arya, is there any more questions? I think you're on mute.
Okay, we have one question from Ritik. Doing an internship in small organization where we can gain more exposure, or doing an internship in big organization where we can't get exposure comparatively, which is better?
Oh, that's a fabulous question, Ritik. I forgot to highlight this point during my webinar. I was supposed to do that, but thank you for bringing up this question. Yes, guys, this is a very important question. A lot of students, they think like, I should get a job in a very big company, and I should not work for a small emerging company. That is entirely untrue. I'll tell you why. If you work for a smaller company, you have exposure to all different departments at a very early level. you have exposure to the higher level of management at a very early level. So the expertise that you will gain by working in your initial days in a smaller company will help you to elevate your game when you are working in a bigger company later on in your life. So when I started, my plant was just emerging. It was just starting. So I got a chance to see how exactly they are establishing a production plant, how they put an high 1500 tons injection molding, how manufacturing, like senior manufacturing engineer or a launch engineer works, how often does a CEO come to see the plant. These are all the things which I witnessed when my plant was emerging. Now when the plant is already emerged and it is big enough, I see the dynamics have totally changed. Senior management don't even think about involving in the smaller thing. Is they just play around, project manager, project engineers, and that's the only thing. So what I will recommend, guys, like when you guys are doing an internship, if you get a chance to work with a startup or just a small scale industry, take that opportunity, because you will get to learn so many different things. And the best part is it's a rotational dynamics. When the employees are less, you get more responsibilities from different department. Example, when I started my first job, I was not only utterly for safety, like sorry, for process engineer, but I got exposure from finance, purchasing, quality, and also from health and safety. So 4 different departments in just one single job, and that is something is very cherishable. It was like a defining moment for me.
So the next question is from Gaurav. To become successful in any field, which quality I need to improve?
That totally depend on you, Gaurav. Which quality you would like to improve? Which quality you think that is not sharper enough that can help you excel in your life? I'm sure you're doing great where you are. It's just I think the person who knows you better, or maybe if you're open enough, you can talk to the professors and ask him, hey, this is my game plan. That's what I want to do. What do you think I can? I will be able to enhance in my life, because they are seeing you on daily basis, and they might be the best person to answer this question for you.
So the next question is, sir, how to handle short-term success and direct it to a long-term one? Like for instance, sometimes it happens that we complete a lesson and party for 2 days, which lowers the productivity.
Okay, that's something like every human being does. Uh, See, successful people always talk about saying like you have to be humble, never forget your fruits. See, I'm saying all these things, but I also do that. If I get a little bit success, I will definitely party. But it's the one thing, like your success should not go in your head. Um, Virat Kohli is my favorite cricketer because of one reason. Uh, though he makes a 50, his goal is on 100. If he is on 100, he looks for 150. He is a long-term visionary. The short-term distraction does not distract him. So that is what I learned from him. I think that is relevant for all of us. um, we have to work on that. So that's a human tendency, that we feel like I need to party, I need to enjoy because I got this success. But if we are able to contain that success for a short period of time and then work on it, that will eventually become your habit, guys. Next question.
It's from Soham. Good evening, sir. How to become a diplomatic person in industry?
Man, Soham, that I cannot answer because I myself is not a diplomatic person. But I'll share one basic thing. You be yourself, and before you speak anything, think about what that other person is talking about, or think in terms of his shoes. If you were in his situation, what would you say? In India, it is not so likely to work around diversified background. But when you come out of that zone, or if you are working for an IT sector, there is something called as an offshore and onshore. So during that time, you get exposure to work with people from different diversity. When I'm talking about different diversity, you work with people from Mexico, you work with people from Brazil, you work with people from Germany, or some from London. Each and every person comes from a different culture. You lose that response, you lose that opportunity of saying that your Indian culture is the best culture. you have to understand that at that time, human culture, being human, is something very important. This is actually, this is a very, very crucial subject. Lot of time, we as a student, we as a professional forget like what kind of words we are using to address other person. So if we are able to just have control on that, I think you will do fine in industry.
Okay, so the next question is from Arvind. What to do for continuous learning after getting a job?
Okay, so if you are in an IT field, that itself becomes your job. You have to be at edge. If you are not at your edge, then there will be there will be very different consequences. And you know that the technology is something which is always changing. So there is one skill which I talked about, adaptability, right? In my webinar, that is something you have to engrave in it. Whichever industry you are in, you need to have that skill of adaptability. You never know what your boss may ask you to do, or you never know what different challenges will come. For example, if you are doing some course, like for me, I'll tell you just a recent scenario. I'm an environmental and health specialist guy. My work is to look after the safety of my company. My boss came and said, hey Ishan, you need to make a video for empowerment of the people for our team. What is that so relevant to my job? I am not ready for it, but since my boss said it, I have to do it. I have to be accountable. So I figured it out. I saw YouTube videos, how it is done, what software needs to be done, and made out a script with the help of some people and did it. You will figure it out, guys. Once you go into the industry, you will be exposed to so much minute detail that you will yourself start to do it. Like for the Excel, which I said, I learned when I was in industry. I never knew that Excel is such a big thing. I always thought that Excel is only used to make index columns, to make the index of my project. That's it. That was the only work I knew. But now I knew that you can make statistical graph. You can do even your entire plant's production schedule on Excel. So that's what I learned when I went into the industry. You just have to do one thing. If you feel that there is some skill you don't know, you have to just find out the resources where you can learn from. And if you had that skill, you will be great in your every endeavor of your life.
So the next question is from the side that if the student is financially not so good, so what are the scholarships, fellowships we can apply for studying abroad?
Oh, okay. So for that, I cannot tell you what are the scholarships or what are the different policies, but you can look up into the government websites. You can go over there, or if you know someone who has, I think, let me put something in a way. In our college, there is an accounts department, and there are people who still get scholarship. You guys can talk to them and get to know about where you can find it. Because what happens, all since we are from Maharashtra government has all their policies in the regional languages, so sometimes it is very hard for us to understand what they are talking about. That is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is looking uh, joining to the Facebook or WhatsApp group if you want to go to a certain university. So you have to be very specific and in what you want to do. For example, if you want to go to, let's say example of University of North Texas, and you want to know what are the different scholarship, what I will do if I were you, I will reach out to someone who is in University of North Texas and ask him, can you share with me a link or a resource where I can read about different scholarship? As I start reading about it, it talks about different aspects, and it also gives a contact detail about whom we should communicate or contact if we have any doubt. And that's how you start. And similarly for India, I think my sister, she is right now going to Spain to do her master's in architecture. And I recently got to know that she figured it out. There is a government scholarship which helps, which pays all the fees and even the accommodation up and beyond. But it is only for the selective people. And when I was doing my masters, when I was preparing for my US journey, I was not aware of it. She somehow figured it out. She saw it on YouTube and she actually connected to one of the student in Spain. He told her. So that's how it works. So you have to just explore it, use internet, and you will get to know about it. And to dissect it, we always have our accounts department, or maybe your parents, or maybe you can directly go to that particular office, step into that and ask them the question, and they will be very happy to answer you about it.
The next question is from Atharva. What is the situation for H1 visa now after the pandemic?
It's the same which was before. See, guys, there is so much hype about this. I don't want to be very political. I don't like to be. So I will just share you one simple concept which might be able to help you understand the situation here. If I am running a country, I will definitely look for benefits and prosperity of my own people. If someone coming from outside, if we are having privileges that they are able to use more than our local people, then there will be definitely an obstruction, and that is what is going on here. So don't worry about this H1 visa and other thing, guys. Worry about your education. Worry about how you can leverage your skill, elevate your skill. And either if it is if you don't get a job here in United States, you can utilize that same skill to do something back in your home country. So it's all a matter of experiences. These H1 and political things, guys, this will take care of by themselves. We as a student, we should not be into this. We must be aware about it. We should know how it is gonna impact us, and we should prepare, but we should not overthink about it. Most lot of time we as a student overthink about it, and we forget the very basic thing why we came here for. So over here now, because of pandemic, it is going still the same. The process has changes, the dynamic has changes, but I think the opportunity that was before in USA is the same right now too.
So the next question from Siddharth. Siddhant, hi, I have worked for Atlas Copco India for a year now, and I want to pursue masters in robotics mechatronics in USA. I want to understand how much weightage does job experience carry for admission into good institute like Georgia Tech.
I think it will really highlight your skills in your standard like SOP, statement of purpose. Uh, there is a slight weightage on it, but since you will be only doing your masters in robotics, your academics are something which will be considered more. Your score in GRE will be considered more. Your job will be like an add-on, or you can say like an icing on the cake for that. You can just share that why you can leverage your job profile. You can say like, for example, I have so and so experience here. The reason sorry, okay, yeah, sorry for the disturbance. So I was saying like you can leverage your job. You can say like I had my job experience for 1 year now. The reason I want to pursue my master's is because I want to enhance my skill in this particular area. So the experience which I gain in my job and the experience that I will be gaining from the degree that I will receive from Georgia Tech will help me to have a fulfilled career. So then you are connecting the dots, and it will be very relevant for you. So this is how you have to play around with it.
So the question is from Yash Mohite. Sir, would you suggest getting a master's degree, MBA or MS abroad or from India?
First of all, go for India, because I did see, guys. It's a very different like perspective I have. Like I did GRE because I did not wanted to study for GATE, because GATE is like again studying from second year, third year, and final year. I felt like doing GRE is very easy. You just have to learn maths and English, and that's it. You're done. That is the reason I chose for that. And plus, my brother was also over here, so looking at his lifestyle and looking at the way that he's living, it actually motivated me, and the global exposure that you get over here. But I think in India also it's the same. If you do from institution like Indian Institute of Technology, or if you do from NIT, I think you will get the same level of expertise as we get over here. Because a lot of people who did their masters from United States, they in India, they got a job in a company where from the company they came here. So it's the same level playing field.
So the last question is from Mirella. What skill to get or what to do if we want to do a master's in management and logistics?
Okay, that's a very, very, what you can say, brave thing to do masters in logistics. So for that, guys, you just have to look for which university is providing that. I think management and logistics, I think, are very rare field. Uh, People usually do their masters in manufacturing or production, and then as they go into manufacturing plant, they get a chance to work in the logistic department. I think there is something called as a supply chain management, which is very relatable to logistics. You can look into that too. But for just management and logistics, I have a very, very vague idea about it. But however, if you reach out to me into LinkedIn, and if I have some of my friends who have done that, I can check with them and I can give you the right answer. I just don't want to give you a wrong answer at this moment.
Now I invite Professor Naren Kate and followed by Atul Kulkarni sir for the vote of thanks.
Great, thank you. Well, I feel the session was very much valuable for the participants based on the questions. So on behalf of Mechanical Engineering and VIIT Alumni Association, we thank you, Ishant. Thanks to all for participating in today's webinar. We hope to see you again next time. Over to you, Hari.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that words of encouragement. Thank you.
Dr. Atul Kulkarni sir. I guess he's on mute. He's not there.
We can carry on, I think.
Okay. So I thank you from behalf of Dr. Atul Kulkarni sir, Ishant. It was a great time having you. Hoping it see you in the next webinars. So thank you for the session.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed. I hope I once again said I hope I was able to add some value to you guys. Any students who have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than glad enough to help you guys in your future endeavor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.